Welcome to the New Look Shooting Show. I'm Peter Carr, or as they call me on the shooting forums, that Peter Carr. This week, sporting rifle contributor Byron will be looking at the new 17 Hornet calibre and giving it a go on the range. First, we are stalking Roebuck here in Yorkshire, and I get as close to a buck outside of the rutting season than I ever have before. Sporting rifle writer Byron and I are out after Roebuck in East Yorkshire. As well as the fun of stalking, this is a job. We have to clear them off land to protect a cash crop of willows, which the farmer is growing for biomass fuel. The weather is warm. I am from this part of Yorkshire, and I can tell you that the wind is normally whipping straight in from Siberia. The countryside looks at its best. What Byron and I don't know is that, thanks to the balmy weather, we're about to enjoy one of those red-letter, unique moments that make stalking so special. We spot the deer up against a low hedge and stalk in from a couple of 100 yards. At 60 yards, I cannot believe how close we are getting, and still there is more. I am creeping closer to a deer than I have ever been before outside of the rut. Nothing seems to budge them. The sun is low and right behind me.
What was it that you thought about the morning that allowed us to get so close?
Well, there was two major components in there which allowed me to get so close into that deer, and one was the wind. What bit of wind there was actually straight into my face, coming straight directly from the deer to me. And the other thing was, which you probably wouldn't see on the camera, was the low sun was directly behind me. So the actual buck, when it did look down the hedge occasionally, all it would see would be glare off the sun, because I was tight into the hedge side. I mean, outside of the rutting season, as I've said, I've never got as close to a buck and successfully shot it like that before.
I have no problem stalking into deer, as close as you possibly can. I mean, from my point of view, my sole aim when I'm out, firstly, is the management of the ground that I'm on, and secondly, is ensuring that I can kill whatever I'm trying to cull as efficiently as possible. And if I can be, 2 yards away from it, that's absolutely fine.
I whistle and I bark, and still they sit there. I get into an incredible 15 yards, and at last the buck stands up and stretches. I can see it's a perfect heart shot. That buck is going nowhere. I want to keep the doe on my ground, so I don't make a move until she has trotted off on her own accord. I am keen to disturb her as little as possible. The skill set of the hunter is getting into that position. The shot is the final part of the whole hunt, and that is the most ethical part, of course, but we're all aiming to that final, the actual pulling the trigger, when all the elements are in place, and when it comes together, it's a fantastic feeling.
That's one of the reasons I enjoy guiding people so much. I mean, anybody can pull the trigger once you're in, but it's getting into that point where you're on the sticks, you're lying down, you're in, leaning against a fence post.
It's much more difficult getting two in than getting one in.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now you see me approaching the deer cautiously and from behind. Okay, so the cameraman is already there, but this is about what you have to do. If it runs away, I have to be ready to put in another shot. I am doing this all by the book. Shot back just behind the shoulder. Smashing little cull buck. Even the drag is textbook. Notice I have the head between the forelegs as I pull the animal along. That was some stalk. As you have seen, stalking throws up different experiences. That's what makes it so exciting. And now, the Shooting Show news.
This is the Shooting Show news. After the wettest April on record, it went on raining into May. So, have downpours during the nesting season devastated pheasants, waders and wildfowl clutches? Well, the experts say yes, with other ground nesting birds like the lapwing also at risk. The good news is that spring grouse counts remain positive, while grey partridge numbers may have escaped any serious damage thanks to the bird's later nesting period. BASC have reaffirmed its commitment to fighting restrictions on the use of lead ammunition. The organisation says it will vigorously oppose any rules that did not have a clear, substantial and science-based justification. This follows the launch of a study by the European Chemicals Agency, which aims to restrict the use of lead shot across the EU. A shop that had its toy guns confiscated by police in January can sell them again, but only to over 18s. The present finder had its stocks of the Monte Carlo toy shotguns seized under fears they breached the Violent Crime Reduction Act 2006. The gun is a bestseller for the company, and the MD, Mark Ashley Miller, said common sense had prevailed. And finally, airgun licensing is back on the political agenda in Scotland. The Scottish Government has new powers to restrict air rifles and air pistols. The Scottish Firearms Consultative Panel is likely to force Scottish airgunners to be licensed when it presents its findings to Holyrood in the coming weeks. The tabloid newspaper The Daily Record claims airguns will be banned outright. That's the Shooting Show news. All you need to know about what goes bang and what falls over.
Byron is at Cloudside Shooting Ground in Cheshire to look at a new round aimed not just at foxes but at fox shooters. Will this hornet leave the nest and start breeding? He asks the man who helped develop it.
Jens, we're here with Edgar Brothers at their open day at Cloudside Shooting Ground, and we're here mainly to have a look at the new 17 Hornet. Can you tell me what is the main difference between the 17 Hornet and the 17 HMR that everybody knows so well?
Okay, yeah, the 17 Hornet is a true centerfire round, and uses the same diameter bullet, but of course it's a lot of faster. It can still use in very lightweight guns, but compared to the 17 HMR, we have 1,000 feet per second more speed, which results in double the energy. So here we have a 20 grain bullet traveling at a 3,650 feet per second, compared to a 17 grain bullet which is traveling around at 2,650 feet per second.
So compared to a centerfire round like the 223 that everybody knows so well, how does the ballistics compare?
Yeah, that's the amazing thing on that little round here. In terms of bullet trajectory, we have the same like a 55 grain and a 223 Remington out to 300 meters.
The round is available from UK importer Edgar Brothers. Visit www.edgarbrothers.com. Thanks for watching. We're out every Monday, 7:30 p.m. This is The Shooting Show.